Money can be a huge source of stress, but it doesn't have to be. Today, I'm going to share 5 ways you can simplify your finances so the two of you can enjoy your marriage and your money. Welcome to the Couple Money Podcast, where we talk about how spouses can get on the same page, pay down their debt faster, and get on the path to financial freedom. I'm your host, Elle Martinez. Today's episode is brought to you by the free course, 5 Days to 5K. Many couples I talk to know what they should be doing, right? Pay down that debt, save money for emergencies or whatever goal they have. The tricky part, though, is where do you find the money for those goals? 5 Days to 5K is a free email-based course that helps you find, save, and earn extra money on the side so you can reach your goals faster. If you're interested, you can sign up at couplemoney.com/5K. How do you feel about the progress you've made this year with your finances? If you're not quite happy with where you are now, don't panic. There's still plenty of time to reset and reboot things with your money. And that's been the theme this month, how to change things up so you can hit a money goal before the year is over. Since my Dump Debt Together session aired last Monday as part of the Mamas Talk Money Summit, I've been keeping busy answering some of your questions about changing things up for the better. And I've noticed that the biggest concern is just getting started, getting that ball rolling. And there are plenty of resources on Couple Money to help you out. But with over 1,000 articles and 300 plus episodes, I can understand that it would be overwhelming. So I want to wrap up this special series on the podcast with how you can get started. I want this year to end on a high note, but then also that you start next year with everything all set up. In this episode, we'll look at habits to develop that will make your finances much easier to handle, key numbers to help you track, and which ones you can pass on for now, and then an easy way to reboot your money. Hope you enjoy. Whether you're the spreadsheet king or queen or more the big picture person, I think we can all agree that we want to streamline our finances so we can focus on the people and things that matter most to us. You can really dive into the weeds with finances and debate the minutia. But if you're looking for big ones, not only with your money, but your marriage, here are 5 things to focus on. First one is go on regular money dates. Why do I talk so much about money dates? It's because they work. Mentioned before, we've had over 300 episodes on the podcast. I've interviewed couples that paid over $100,000 of debt. Some have retired early. Others are designing their lifestyle around their goals. They're traveling together. And there are certain patterns that keep coming up. And they might not call it a money date, but they do have these regular check-ins where they talk about their dreams and then make sure that their finances align with them. So for you, it might be a night out at one of your favorite restaurants, or you just go to the backyard, relax with a glass of wine by the fire pit. But I want you to make this a habit, part of your routine. For most couples, monthly is enough. You might want to do it more frequently, depending on your goal. But having these money dates allows you guys to check in a relaxed setting about what's working, what's not, and then adjusting things before they snowball out of control. And if you're not sure on how to start or even begin the conversations about finances, maybe it's a sensitive topic, go ahead and pick up my book, Jumpstart Your Marriage and Your Money. I take you step by step through money dates with conversation starters and icebreakers. And I also share a 4-week plan to streamline things so the two of you can get on the same page with money faster. Now, the second habit I want to talk about is switching your budget up. If the idea of making a budget makes you break out in hives, you have to change things up. Typically, when someone is complaining about a budget, there are a few key reasons, but the root of it is that there's no room in the budget for what matters to you. It's so strict, you can't have any fun. And while that might look good on paper, you think you're going to get to your goal faster, it's usually an exercise in frustration. Sustainable is the way to go. And for most couples, it's a process. And one of the best budgets I've seen to get you started on that is the 50-30-20 budget. As you probably figured out, your money, net income in this case, goes into 3 buckets of expenses. Half of it is essentials. We're talking about things like your rent or mortgage, food, utilities, necessary transportation. Then 20% goes towards your financial priorities. This is where you're paying down debt or you're saving or investing. But what makes this different and a good introduction for couples that are trying to figure out their budget is that 30% of it is going towards your lifestyle choices. What do you guys enjoy doing? And this budget will not get you out of debt the fastest or save the fastest, but it's enough to get you started where you are making some progress on goals while you adjust and talk about your priorities and what you really want to spend your money on. So if this is a hang up, your budget you can't seem to keep, try this out. I actually do have a spreadsheet you can download and fill it out yourself, where you can make it much easier on yourselves and set it up so that you're at least getting the ball rolling with your finances. And that leads us to the third habit you definitely want to pick up if you haven't already, which is automate your budget. Once you decided, okay, we're going to spend this much here and we want to save for this goal or want to pay down this credit card, automate your money. And a simple trick that's helped us is scheduling the bills to come out 48 hours after the direct deposits go in. This keeps the temptation low to break our budget because we know that it is already set. And then after those bills are paid, we have some guilt-free spending money if we want to spend it. But we don't necessarily have to because, again, we've set a budget where we've included things that we enjoy, things that matter to us. And you can track your progress through your bank or credit union, or you can use apps and other options. Some of my favorites include Personal Capital, Mint, Honeyfi, Tiller, or Zeta. And each of these has pros and cons. If you go into the show notes, I'm going to, in detail, kind of go over who would be a good fit for each of these options. And then the fourth thing I want you to add for your habits is only use cash when eating out. Chances are that eating out is a big expense with your monthly budget that you may not be aware of. Those quick lunches with coworkers seem small, but those constant, convenient, and on-the-go meals typically add up to more than you estimated. Something that I've seen that's helped me is using cash. And I know many couples who have used cash envelopes for several different expenses, but for me, it's a bit too much. But by focusing on one expense, eating out, having that cash kept me in check. I knew how much I had for the week, and once it was gone, it was gone. It was a way for me to manage my finances quickly and easily. Finally, the last habit I want to talk about is developing a laser focus on your goals. Don't try to work on all your expenses across the board. You can burn out quickly trying to slash multiple bills all at once. I think one reason systems like Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps are so effective is that they have you laser focus in on one step or goal at a time. You begin with a starter emergency fund, and then it's all in with paying down debt. Then you can fully fund your savings and so on. While I don't think you have to be as gazelle intense as some people are, I actually have seen it backfire with getting your spouse on board. Having a priority can be powerful. Do you want to optimize your expenses? Try doing monthly challenges with one bill. Give the cash envelope system a go next month, or maybe you want to look at your bills and see if you can do a better job negotiating the rates. Whatever you decide, just make sure that you're building better habits, not going just for quick wins that will get undone by the next month. And if you're pressed for time, there are options out there like Trim that can save you money by canceling subscriptions, finding deals with insurance, and negotiating with your bills. So give yourself some time, develop these habits, and you'll be amazed at the progress you'll make. Thank you so much for joining in. As always, I'll have tips, tools, and resources we talked about today in the show notes over at Couple Money. And since we're gearing up for better habits with our finances, I'm opening up the Reboot Your Money course again. It's a course that you can do from home with videos through email that takes you step by step on how to set up your goals and how to set up your system so you're automatically moving in that direction. You can pick it up at couplemoney.com/reboot. And since you're part of the community and a podcast listener, make sure you enter podcast as the discount code so you can get it half off. Yep, you only have to pay $10. I want you to have what you need to end this year with a win and set yourself up for next year. Now, even though the podcast will be going on a break, I'll be busy working on next season's episodes. We're talking about some of the most difficult and stressful situations with marriage and money, including dealing with secret debt, lending money to in-laws, and much more. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure you're subscribed. It's free. We're on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you grab your podcasts. And you can also listen in the meantime to some of our most popular episodes in the catalog. And if you want to follow me along behind the scenes as I'm preparing for the next season, I'm going to be sharing on Instagram through the stories at Couple Money. Thank you again so much for listening and being a part of the community. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.